Bhajanitai Goura Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Welcome. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Radharaman, Jai Nitai Gaur, Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam. Nimai became Nimai Pandit. It was in this Navadvip, famous for its intellectual and learning, that Nilambar Chakrabarti, a famous astrologer, lived. He married his elder daughter Sachi to Jagannath Mishra, already mentioned. The younger daughter Sarva Jaya was married to Chandra Shekhar Acharya Ratna. Sachi and Jagannath gave birth to 8 daughters, but none of them survived. Then a son, Vishwarup, was born of them about 10 years later, in 1486, on the full moon day in Falgun, the last month in the Hindu calendar. The Mishras were blessed with another son. It was a gold-complexioned child, and the time of its birth coincided with that of the moon eclipse. In India, religious people generally pass the duration of an eclipse in chanting the names of God and Goddess. In Navadvip, therefore, people in groups, here, there, and everywhere, began to move toward the bank of the Surdhuni, the river Ganga, singing the names of God in the accompaniment of mirdangans and kartals, drums and cymbals. Suffice it to say that the newly born child was our Gour, or Gouranga, which meant fair complexioned. From that golden hue, the child got these 2 most popular names. The devotees of Gourang believe that the moon in the sky has dark spots on its face. It felt shy, and in the presence of that flawless moon, our Gouranga got itself hidden on the pretext of the eclipse. These devotees also have an explanation of the Harikirtan on the advent of Gouranga. They say that the child indirectly gave the message that he had come to bless the world with the Yuga Dharma Nam Kirtan, chanting the name of the Lord, since it is the only religion of Kali Yuga. In due course of time, in the Nam Karan ceremony, the child was formally named Vishvambhar. Since Sachi preferred to call her baby Nimai, others also addressed him as Nimai. As it was customary, a variety of articles were placed before the child, and he was asked to take one of them. The child at once lifted the sacred book Bhagavatam and placed it on his chest. The people present there, friends, relatives, neighbors, all felt very happy and exclaimed with surprise, "The child has rectly done it. The son of a Brahmin, he will not doubt be a great Pandit." Nilambar Chakrabarti, the husband of Sachi's sister, instantly prepared Nimai's horoscope and declared that the child will undoubtedly be a great figure. Nimai was both unique and ordinary. His actions and behavior were at times very different from those of a common child. When he began to weep, he would go on weeping and crying. When all other methods to pacify him failed, the ladies from the neighborhood will start singing Hari Kirtan, clapping their hands. Amazingly, the child would be calm and quiet. One day, Nimai was all alone in the house. His elder brother Vishvarup suddenly returned. My God! He was amazed to see that Nimai was playing with a snake. Fortunately, it went away, leaving the child quite unhurt and unharmed. Who would believe that the living creature was God, Sheshnag, that had come to be blessed by the child of God? No, the child God. Sometime Nimai will take a puppy in his lap, bring it home and play with it very fondly. Some other day he will sit on the mound of rubbish, where dirty earthen pots and leavings were thrown. On such occasions, Sachima, mother, will be very upset. She will wailingly tell him from a distance, Alas, you, the son of a Brahmin, you are sitting in such a dirty, filthy place. On hearing these words, Nimai will at once reply like a real sage, Ma, all this filth gets pious and purified the moment I touch it. And Ma, inner purity is the real thing. How will the simple lady, our Sachima, understand the philosophy of this child? One day, Nimai crossed the threshold of the house and crawled across the path. One thief named Meshmali noticed that the child had some ornaments on his person. He gently lifted the child and placed him on his shoulder. His intention was to take off the jewelry secretly and run away. Just then, Yogamaya Shakti, Lord's power incarnate, stepped in and played her part. Meshmali lost the sense of direction. With Nimai on his shoulder, he roamed here and there and returned to the very place from where he had picked up the child. Just then, the thief regained his normal senses and ran away, leaving the child near the house of Jagannath Misra. The child God did not disappoint the thief altogether, as the latter had given him a good ride on his shoulders. By Nimai's blessings, Meshmali gave up all his ill instincts and intentions and became a great devotee. Jai Nimai, Jai Nimai, Jai Nimai. Children are generally naughty, but Nimai was a bit more mischievous. He went to the bank of Surdhuni, young and old, men and women. All are busy with their routine activities. Somebody is standing for a bath in the river. Nimai secretly goes behind him and pulls his legs. Some lady is sitting with her offerings for the deity. Nimai suddenly comes, take away some part of the bog meant for the deity and begins to eat it. Since the bog is defiled, the lady begins to say, Alas, alas! You have certainly offended the god. Similarly, Nimai will throw a scatter the flowers and other articles for the daily worship lying before the devotee. People thus aggravate will go to Jagannathji and Sachima to make complaints against Nimai. Asked for an explanation, Nimai, in all simple innocence, will only say, I am not at fault. They themselves invoke me for bog. When I accept their offerings, they raise a hue and cry. Thus, indirectly, even as a little child, Nimai tried to make it clear that he was the deity worshipped. One day Nimai made a strange demand. He began to say obstinately, "I will eat what my Kakayis, uncles Jagdish and Hiranja have cooked for the Ekadashi bog." He will accept nothing but their bog. How did this child of 5 years know that it was Ekadashi that day? He will only weep and reiterate his demand. Somehow, Hiranya and Jagdish, the 2 neighbors of Jagannath Mishra, learned about the child's demand. They at once came to the conclusion that it was no other than Baal Gopal, Krishna the child, in the heart of Nimai, who made that uncommon demand. They brought all the bog items and allowed Nimai to eat freely. Murari Gupta, the physician, was another neighbor of Jagannath Mishra. He studied Yog Vashisht and taught his pupils that everybody was God himself. He believed in So Aham and Tattvamasi. One morning, he went along the road explaining with great fervor and efforts his theory to the students. He was unmindful of the fact that Nimai, with his friends, was following him, copying his actions and gestures. The moment Murari Gupta felt Nimai's presence and noticed the mimicry, he scolded the child and went his way. He must have thought, no doubt, that Nimai was a spoiled child of Jagannath Mishra. And what did Nimai do? He just spoke one sentence. "Okay, I will see you at noon." Imagine, a child of about 5 years says to an elderly, respected person that he will see him. It is not a veritable truth. Murari Gupta just neglected Nimai's reaction. At noon the same day, Murari Gupta sat to eat his lunch, and lo, just then Nimai stood before him and urinated in Murari's dish. Not only that, Nimai, in a very grave attitude, said to the elderly man, "I urinate thus into the dish of the man who says he is God." Saying this, Nimai did not stay there any longer. He quickly ran to his house and hid his face in the lap of his mother. It was an eye-opener for Murari. He now remembered what the child had said that morning. He stood up at once and ran towards the house of Jagannath Mishra. Without uttering a word, he fell before Sachima, placing his head on Nimai's little soft feet. This was something very unusual. Jagannath Mishra at once interrupted Murari, saying, "Murari, what are you doing? Nimai is but a child. Bless him. Don't behave like this." Suffice it to say that Murari was now totally changed. He became a devotee and forgot his doctrines, Soham, Tattvamasi, etc. In later years, he became one of Nimai's close favorite and companions. He is remembered today particularly for his Karcha, the first biography of Lord Gouranga in Sanskrit. One Brahmin, Satyabhanu, traveling through the various places of pilgrimage, arrived in Navadvip and became a guest of Jagannath Mishra. The pilgrim cooked the meals with his own hands. Jagannath provided him with all necessary articles of food. The guests prepared the meal and offered the bog to his deity. As he closed his eyes, he felt somebody's presence. It was Nimai eating the bog from the plate. It meant that the bog was defiled. Satyabhanu cried out, and the host came running. Jagannath requested the guest to cook the meal again. Satyabhanu repeated the whole procedure and faced the same problem. On the special request of Vishvarup, the elder brother of Nimai, the guests this time decided to offer only fruits to the deity, as it was quite late at night. Sachima, Jagannathji, father and mother of Nitai, all were very cautious this time. Sachima made Nimai sleep and she herself lay beside him. All measures failed. At the right time, just when the Brahmin was ready to offer the bog to his deity, Nimai appeared before him courteously and asking the Brahmin to keep quiet, said, "Listen carefully. I was Ram in Treta, Krishna in Dwapar. I have come now as Sachi's child to distribute Harinam among people. You call me again and again to accept your bog. When I come, you rise and cry, 'Why?' Nimai then showed the Brahmin his Vishvarup, the figure Krishna showed to Arjuna. Nobody in the house could know anything about this secret Lila." Jai Nimai, Jai Nimai, Jai Gaur, Jai Gaur, Jai Gaur, Jai Gaur. Thus we will continue in the next episode. I hope you enjoy. Bhajanitai Goura Radheshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram.